Today's hearing, of course, is to review the California High-Speed Rail Authority's 2023 Project Update Report and discuss the next steps for the project. The Project Update Report updates costs, schedule, and ridership estimates since the 2020 and 2022 business plans. Last year, the legislature approved a $10 billion transportation budget package that included funding for transit, active transportation, port infrastructure, and climate adaptation. The package also appropriated the final $4.2 billion in Proposition 1A bonds for the high-speed rail project. With the appropriation, the legislature included provisions to refocus the project and increase oversight. Specifically, the legislature required the authority to prioritize the completion of a usable segment from Merced to Bakersfield in the Central Valley and restricted spending outside of that. We also created an independent Office of Inspector General to not only conduct audits and investigations of the project, but to also conduct independent fiscal analyses and reviews of future business plans. The Joint Legislative Audit Committee is currently working on the recruitment process for the IG. And as we know, the California High-Speed Rail is the largest infrastructure project in the country. It continues to face serious challenges as mega projects do, including a lack of funding, cost overruns, schedule changes, and project management issues. The 2023 Project Update Report is very sobering. The bottom line is that there's not enough funding to complete the 171 miles from Merced to Bakersfield, the Central Valley line. Specifically, the authority identifies a $10 billion funding shortfall. To help fill the gap, they are targeting $8 billion in new federal funding from the bipartisan infrastructure law. Recently, I was in Washington, D.C. with many of my Senate colleagues, as well as our Senate President, the Pro Tem, Tony Atkins, meeting with our federal partners and congressional delegation. We discussed high-speed rail in certainly to a lot of different extents. And time again, we were told that California needs to do more to provide a more stable long-term funding source for the project. With this feedback from DC, will the authority be able to achieve its $8 billion target? If not, where will the funding come from to complete a usable segment? They are serious challenges that we will all hopefully get answers from today. Today, we'll hear from the authority and our respected oversight partners from the LAO and independent peer review. Members, as we sit here today, construction continues in the Valley. The authority has created more than 10,000 construction jobs, generated over $6 billion in labor income, and $16 billion in economic activity. While we grapple with the questions of funding and oversight, we also are looking ahead to what it will actually be like to operate the first high-speed rail segment in the Valley. Today, we have the opportunity to hear from our local partners on the ground about how the project is impacting communities and their future plans to welcome high-speed rail service. We know that the next steps will be critical. Today, we must take a hard look at where we are, ask the tough questions, and understand future options.